Great. So just breathing, getting fully present here now, centered, and coming into our heart. And let's just connect our hearts together and with everyone in the class. Like in a circle, heart to heart around the circle, just feeling the energy flow around the circle of everyone in this class.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm feeling to do the crystal ball just one more time.
Okay. I could still feel it vibrating.
Me too. It's still vibrating.
I wasn't sure if that was it or the heater.
No, it still is. It lasts for such a long time.
Mm-hmm.
So thank you for coming tonight.
You're welcome.
Yeah. Yeah. It's nice to be together.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So the topic of this Zoom gathering is meditation as world service. And it has been so evident in this week's discussion post, the world service that everyone is doing with their personal meditations. You got that too?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yep.
because truly it's an inside job, right?
Mm-hmm.
As we say around here, and every letting go that we do, every forgiveness meditation, loving kindness meditation, and all of the variety, the huge variety that people brought up in every single post this week, shows how much healing, releasing, transforming, getting a bigger picture, and basically getting lighter and freer, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so, of course, that affects the whole. We truly, there's only one of us on the planet, one consciousness, one human collective consciousness. And actually, there's only one in all of creation. We're connected with all of it, the all that is, you know. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
and so, but just focusing on the planet, because we're here for this planet in this lifetime, and to take part in all of this shifting that's going on at a great time of the shift of the ages and so on.
Mm-hmm.
And so everything we do helps. Everything we do helps. And it helps to liberate each of humanity as they are ready to receive and to go further in their own understandings, their own ability to love, to be in peace, to connect, etc. And so these individual meditations, and plus any healing work we do at all, any of us, is benefiting the whole and,
Mm-hmm.
and shifting the earth. And the thing is that I think what people are really starting to realize too is that as we continue to keep going within through meditation or any inner activities, guided meditations, healing sessions, whatever it may be, what happens is that our perceptual reality shifts. It actually raises frequency, taps into a much bigger picture that then has understanding turns into wisdom and compassion as we keep going within. And this feeds and nurtures all of humanity. So it's a world service. But beyond that, the way we perceive everything, the way we perceive ourselves, other people, things going on the planet, the way we perceive these makes them persist, creates the reality. Right. And so I think probably everybody knows this. It's like I got the message about a month ago. It was at the new moon before this big eclipse a couple days ago, the full moon eclipse. And I got this inner message that billions more people on the planet had entered into unity consciousness, which means that we're all like on the same page, even though each in our very unique individual way, because we are not only one, but we are an individuated soul that has journeyed long and far and forever, actually eternally, from the one to keep creating new realities, new galaxies, new planets, etc. But part of the thrust, one of the pillars of this new age, this new golden age, is unity consciousness. And the truth is, the fact is that we are all connected telepathically, and we tap into the telepathic field for whatever resonates with our own interests, passions, service to the world, etc. We share that way telepathically in the field. And the same for, higher spiritual beings, cosmic beings, etc. We can ring anybody up in this field, and they will connect with us, and we can commune. So all of this that we're all doing is contributing to the swift evolution of this planet, which I call ascension. A lot of people call ascension. It's basically the enlightenment of humanity. So, and it's happening rapidly, So, but we still, my understanding at this point is we still need to go through all of the steps of mastery. And that's like the yellow brick road. That's like putting all the inner puzzle pieces together. It's walking our own path. And I always say there's 8 billion spiritual paths on this planet. Yeah, because each one is utterly unique. And what moves us, what messages we get, what synchronicities in the environment speak to us, everything is so unique. So on one level, we're all one, literally, in consciousness and energy. And then we're also unique, and we contribute all of that to the creation, to the evolution of creation. It's a very dynamic creation. So let's see, I think that's what I wanted to say about that. You want to jump in and add anything?
So one of the things that I had been mulling over recently is you're kind of giving confirmation of, and that's the sense that in order to find some sort of peace with the outer world, we have to be able to find peace with the inner world.
Exactly.
And we can do that any number of different ways. I just, this summer I lost my grandmother, and at least on this plane, and she's been more active on other planes. But seeing her in the last couple of weeks, months, as she came to peace with her childhood through a very different method than the ways that I'm trying to come to peace with some of the things that I've either done or had done to me.
Exactly.
It's fantastic just to see how many differences we can have and yet still be the same.
Exactly. because the universal laws, the universal truths are so simple, truly,
Mhm.
and yet there's 8 billion ways to get there, to each one, and it's
Mhm.
usually a process through time, right? I mean, we do learn as we go. We do learn,
Yes.
right? And we're always progressing, actually.
Mhm.
We're
Mhm.
always progressing every day. And the other thing I like to talk about a lot too, and I think I talked about it a bit in some of the responses to the discussion post today, is that, we are multidimensional beings. We exist simultaneously on multiple dimensions in multiple realities simultaneously now, even though most of our focus is here with the planet in the 3D, 4D, because that's why we're here, because we're supposed to be working here at this level with all the rest of what we are, right? So, and we, at one moment we might be in a 5D consciousness, which is the consciousness of unconditional love, joy, inner peace, the real palpable knowing and feeling of oneness, and all of that, right? Harmony, creativity, creative inspiration. We could be, for an hour in that state, and then something could happen, and we could drop back down to a 3D level of consciousness and vibration, right?
Mhm.
Simultaneously, we're existing in the 12D, and so we have 12D realities, as part of our whole soul fractal.
Mhm.
So that's also very interesting to me as well. And
Mhm.
it's like, we don't have to leave the earth. We don't have to shun the 3D level of consciousness or anything else. We're actually bridging them all.
Mhm.
We're bridging them all. And
Using,
go
go
ahead.
ahead.
No, go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say, using my ducks in water analogy, getting in and out of the river constantly.
Exactly.
Um, I have felt like, and the few friends that I have that I can discuss this with have agreed with me that the purpose in the here and now is to get in the water, or for all of us to get in the water and to go with the flow.
Yeah.
But there is that, okay, well, maybe you can't get in the water from your side of the river. Maybe you have to come to my side of the river. And then we have to build bridges, and the bridges are made with hearts and with intensive labor.
Woo! Oh, I got big chills. I got big chills on that. Yes.
Hmm.
Yes. This is,
So it does resonate with me.
yes. Well, I'm seeing the unity consciousness in our class. I mean,
Hmm.
I feel like the posts each week, and this is just, people have just posted, I guess, their fourth week posts.
Hmm.
Uh, but what I've seen every single week is how many linkages there are, again, each and everyone's individual way, but how, like, everyone's on the same page in either what they're going through, what they're understanding, etc. And of course, we all embellish each other's. I mean, we all learn from each other and our unique perspectives and experiences. But I'm seeing the unity consciousness in the class so strongly,
Hmm.
so strongly. It's
I
beautiful.
have so I do have, this is kind of more of a question as to your opinion.
Yes.
But I have a point, a sticking point that I've been discussing with one of my best friends for, gosh, I don't know, 6 to 8 months now,
Okay.
maybe even 5 years, which is the length of time that I've known him.
Okay.
Um, and my side of the viewpoint is, because we're all connected, we can't, there can't be one person left out. There
Yes.
can't be one experience that is not important to the ascension of all experiences.
Yes.
And his opinion is, I don't care, I'm going for higher ground.
Right.
If that makes sense.
Well, that's fine. That's fine. If that's his choice and his path and his feeling, what he's following right now and what he feels and believes.
Yeah.
Um, but the thing is, I think what came out so much in the discussion post this week too was that is perfectly fine, but we're also being needing to not judge other people, to not judge situations in the world. Because another thing about meditation is that we do become more detached. We become more detached emotionally, meaning neutral. It's not that we don't feel feelings, but we don't latch on, like, latch on to them and can't let go, and we can give space to other people and accept them better, and forgive them, have compassion for them, see where they're at, but not have to go, no, 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 that kind of thing. Create separation to create unity rather than separation, even though we could clearly see, well, I don't really approve of that behavior. I don't do it that way, but so be it. Different strokes for different folks, and bless them, bless them instead. Because really, anybody who's ever suffering, for one thing, it's only the mind that creates suffering. It's only our thoughts, which are the ego level of, and Eckhart Tolle says this all the time, right? He says this all the time, and all the masters through time and the meditative traditions have always said the only suffering is between your ears, right? So, and a lot of that is not even our thoughts either. So, and they're repetitive thoughts, they're domino effect thoughts, they're all this stuff, judgmental thoughts, self-critical thoughts, and they're just mental loops. And so that's why I was suggesting to several people last week to drop your consciousness into your heart, drop the focus of your consciousness into your heart, and love yourself and honor yourself. And this brings you into a much greater expanded capacity to love and accept others, including the grossest things that we see in the world, So, but I do a lot of work with, I teach a 4-week teleclass called Dissolving Painful Beliefs and Feelings, which is about dissolving, transmuting subconscious belief systems and programs that we all have, right? And the 3 big categories of this subconscious programs that are in our subconscious and unconscious are: something is wrong with me, something is wrong with him or her, something is wrong with the world. And we have thousands of iterations of these 3 basic. And they are even ours, or we've actually helped create them through time, through our experiences, and taking them on and believing them and all of that. But we can, just like as any other form of healing work, as soon as we recognize any of them, we can right then and there say, this is no longer me. This is not true for me now. I release this. I release this old belief system. And they go back through the genetic lines as well, because we pick them up in childhood. We pick them up through the, so.
Yeah, I've done some inner child work with starting with somebody who says, your parents gave you a debt that you can never repay. And it just kind of, the class went downhill from there. It was a one-time class. But we by the end of the class, she had, I'd say 75% of the people at a place where it's like, you know what? I can't repay that debt. I'm okay with that. So I was impressed.
That's good. That is very good. Yes, I would say in the bigger picture, though, it always is resolved, and we're always giving back. Yes, right.
Yeah.
Yes. I don't believe that it's true that there's no debts that can't be repaid.
I think she was looking at it from a perspective of, we could do whatever we wanted for the rest of the world, but we could never give life back to our parents. I don't know. It's been a year or 2, so.
Yeah. Well, we have great gratitude to our parents for bringing us onto the planet.
Definitely. Many of us do.
Yeah. So let's see, what else did I want to talk about? Oh, so one of the things that I'm really recognizing lately is that the more we raise our consciousness, and also the more we go into meditation spaces and thus enhance and increase our ability to feel inner peace and love and harmony and all of that, the world literally changes from our perception of it, right? So I've been trying to teach people for a long time, especially since 2012, which was so much, that was when the shift of the ages was, December 1st, 22nd. And people were feeling so upset that they weren't seeing like either a big flash of the entire world was new and all of that, right? Remember, there was lots of disappointment around it for a lot of people because they expected an immediate new
instant gratification.
yeah.
Oh.
But it all actually, we are creating it, and we're actually creating it from within. And whenever we are feeling in a higher state of consciousness and great love, compassion, peace, we are seeing a different world, literally. The world seems lighter, has more color, everyone seems loving. We can hear the birds twittering, even talking in their twittering. You know what I mean. So yes. So again, we're bridging in our consciousness. We're bridging into a new world, which is a new way of perceiving everything. And then from there, everything outer changes because we're all perceiving it differently. We no longer buy into all the victim programs, the victim consciousness programs, which are huge in humanity's subconscious, and the separation programs and all of these things. Instead, we see a whole different world. And by seeing it, we are bringing it into being. Yeah. Uh-huh. Yes. Yes. Anything you want to add?
Not that I can think of on that little section. So we can keep moving.
Okay. Okay. So then, the next thing I want you to talk about is group meditations, right? And most people at this point have participated in group meditations of one kind or another. You know, I mean, I know Rebecca does through her Course in Miracles group. A lot of people have done group meditations in Edgar Casey groups that they're part of. Meditations, well, with any group. And I think what most people discover whenever they do meditations in a group of any kind, including ashrams, retreats, meditation retreats, whatever it may be, it makes it easier to have the group energy. And it's easier for us to drop into a meditative state and to have everything be much more amplified. And this is what I've found myself, and I've heard lots of people talk about as well, that, oh, it's so much easier when we meditate as a group because it broadens the bandwidth, so to speak.
I was going to say it also amplifies the energy a little bit.
Exactly.
So the way that I think of it is like the times that I've meditated with other people or grounded, helping other people ground as well.
Yes.
It, like, I hate to call it my energy because it's not my energy, but the energy that is there that I am grounding out,
yes, becomes
a draw, like a magnetic draw for the energy on the other person.
Exactly. Yes, that's a great example.
So
we all affect each other so much. I mean,
yes, we are all compassionate, at least to some extent, even with the people that we dislike.
Yes.
And we all have those threads. A journalist that worked with Mother Teresa for a while spoke of the golden thread that Mother Teresa kept bringing up in her work. and that thread interweaves and ties us all together, and it doesn't matter how much we might not like a person or ourselves, even we're still tied. It doesn't matter how much we isolate ourselves, we're still there, we're still part of the fabric.
Exactly. Yes. Right. And
Mm-hmm.
for someone who likes a lot of isolation, for example, which some people do,
Mm-hmm.
in their dream time, if they remembered their dreams, they'd remember other things they're doing in other places with other beings or whatever.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
we're so much bigger than we've been led to believe that we are. We're so much bigger, and
Mm-hmm.
we're all affecting each other, and in fact assisting each other to keep rising in vibration, frequency, and enlightenment.
Yep. I liked the idea that you gave earlier of like the third dimension is trying to get itself together and all in one place so that the fourth dimension can take care of itself next.
Yes.
And not saying that it can't happen simultaneously. It's just sometimes there are easier paths and sometimes there are a little harder to navigate paths.
Yes. And we experience many different things in this one lifetime, so
Mm-hmm.
that we can have a broader scope on things and a broader understanding of everything. There was a period of time in Sedona where I was part of a group that were clearing karmic timelines. So
Mm-hmm.
that's on the 4D level of
Yeah.
consciousness and the astral plane, and things that are still hanging around the earth, energies that are still hanging around the earth because they were so traumatic and unresolved. The same
Mm-hmm.
individuals who hang around because there's so much that's still unresolved.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, but that there's been, over the past 10 years, let's just say 10 years, there has been a lot of clearing out of the lower astral, the negative lower density of the astral, the 4D.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And it's such an evolutionary process as well, because Patricia Cote-Robles was saying that this is the year when the millennials are really getting activated, and she says that's the 17 to 30-year-old group.
Mm-hmm.
And they came to this planet. First of all, I'm 63, so my generation had a lot of clearing stuff to do, a lot of breakthrough type stuff, a lot of healing, cleanup stuff, and breakthrough things. And if we hadn't done the work that we were doing when we did it, the indigo kids wouldn't have even been able to come to the planet, right? And if the indigo kids hadn't been able to come to the planet, which they did, and do more of their ruckus, right, and their spiritual stuff, and their ruckus, and not accepting this and that, all the constraints and all the BS and all that, then the next generation, the crystal children or whatever, couldn't have come to the planet, right? So
Each part is important.
Each part is important. And so the millennials are here to really actually build the new earth, to have all the beautiful inventions and new ways of living and being and making life easier and more
and more complex.
And more complex, yes. And then the children and babies who are on the planet now, are just bright light beings, just beam and love, just bringing love in big doses to the planet. So it's all working together, and it always has, but it's much easier to see now because we're all becoming more conscious and aware.
We're all taking time to look at the very least.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Yes. And
or
so
being more mindful of where we are and where we want to be.
Yes, all of that. So the last piece that I wanted to talk about was, and if we cut out, it's because I still have the free Zoom, so it's a 40-minute thing, so it might cut out. And if it does, and you want to come back on and get together some more, just go back to that same link.
Okay.
Click on it again. I don't have to set a new meeting. You can just click on that link again. We'll come back together.
Okay.
But the last piece I wanted to talk about was planetary meditations, or meditations as world service. So what I was wanting to convey tonight was that the idea of meditation as world service goes through all levels or layers, from individual to planetary meditations. And we live in a milieu now on the planet with all the social media and all the other technology that we have to connect with each other. I think probably everyone in our class has participated in planetary meditations that happen via, we all get notified, via Facebook or groups that we're part of or whatever it is, to take place in world peace meditations or full moon eclipse meditations, and join together in consciousness, thousands upon thousands and millions of people. So again, once again, so much has changed, and it has shifted from 10 years ago, 40 years ago. It's just outrageous, It's just outrageous how much shift in every conceivable way there has been, so that now all people like us, which there are thousands, millions, billions of us, light workers, us aware people, are meditating together at synchronized times around the globe repeatedly, and it all makes a difference. It all makes a difference. So I am going to make a YouTube out of this so that I can upload it to our discussion page. And then I'm going to attach a couple of examples of planetary meditations with world service as the highest priority, just as some examples for people to see. And I also shared Patricia Cote-Robles, who's one of my teachers, her vlogs, her site eraofpeace.org, and the vlogs that she's been doing every week. And a lot of those vlogs have parts of them that are invocations and guided, meditations. So that's another example. There's many, 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 many different examples of this kind of planetary meditations for world service and so on. And it just keeps blossoming more and more and more. It's just astonishing. It's just fantastic. And then I put something into the class next week, which is called the Mantram of Unification. And it's an esoteric mantram that is very old, and was given through Alice Bailey, who was a channel in the 1920s. And she wrote, about 25 books, channeled by the Tibetan master Dwal Kul, who's one of the Ascended Masters. And so I'm giving this mantram of unification to the class as a way to experiment and explore what is called in East India Raja Yoga, or mental yoga, contemplative yoga. Because when I first started meditating in the early 80s, I had gotten turned on to the Alice Bailey material. And they also have what they call the New Group of World Servers, the World Goodwill Society, and the Arcane School. And so I got into that a bit and read a lot of her books. And these mantrams, I had personal experience with this. This is why I'm sharing it with the class. But you take these mantrams and you read only one sentence at a time and contemplate it. Contemplate it deeply. Just sit with it, one sentence at a time. And then the next sentence and the next. And it can take you so deep into universal laws and spiritual principles. It can just take you so deep by dissecting things like that. And sitting with them and contemplating them. So I was thinking of possibly doing that as a group tonight, but perhaps we do have a little bit more time, and perhaps I'll just begin, share it, and we won't take, I was going to give like 1 or 2 minutes for people to experience the contemplation for a bit.
Mm-hmm.
But I think I will not do that tonight, if that's okay.
That's fine.
Okay, I think I will just read the mantra, and people will be seeing it. You can download it and see it for next week and play with it and see what happens. But
Playing is fun.
okay. Oh, you cannot minimize when you are recording the meeting. Okay.
Oh,
All right,
no.
I can do that another way. Just let me get to. Okay. So you could think of this as many spiritual seekers have participated and still participate in this mantra for a very long time. Okay. The daughters and sons of humanity are one, and I am one with them. I seek to love, not hate. I seek to serve and not exact due service. I seek to heal, not hurt. Let pain bring due reward of light and love. Let the soul control the outer form and life and all events, and bring to light the love that underlies the happenings of time. Let vision come and insight. Let the future stand revealed. Let inner union demonstrate and outer cleavages be gone. Let love prevail. Let all humanity love. There's much to be learned there.
There's always more to be learned.
There is. So thank you for coming to be with me tonight, because it's easier for me to talk when I'm talking to somebody, and it's easier for me to bring things forth when people ask me questions also. It's just the way I work.
Fair enough.
Yeah. So thanks so much. Thanks so much for being here. And it's great to see you.
You're welcome. And thank you for sharing too.
More to come, Allison.
Wonderful. I'm ready for it.
Okay. Namaste.
Blessed be.
Yes, blessed be.